Tonight, we're going to take you to one of the most toxic places on Earth, a place that government officials and gangsters don't want you to see. It's a town in China where you can't breathe the air or drink the water, a town where the blood of the children is laced with lead. It's worth risking a visit because much of this poison is coming out of the homes, schools, and offices of America. This is a story about recycling, about how your best intentions to be green can be channeled into an underground sewer that flows from the United States and into the wasteland. That wasteland is piled with the burning remains of some of the most expensive, sophisticated stuff that consumers crave. And we discovered that the gangs who run this place wanted to keep it a secret.
He said if we don't leave, we may get beaten up.
What are they hiding? The answer lies in the first law of the digital age. Newer is better. In with the next thing and out with the old TV, phone, or computer. All of this becomes obsolete electronic garbage called e-waste. You know, my computer seems like such a smooth, clean machine. What's inside it?
Lead, cadmium, mercury, chromium, polyvinyl chlorides. All of these materials have known toxicological effects that range from brain damage to kidney disease to mutations, cancers.
Alan Hershkowitz is a senior scientist and authority on waste management at the Natural Resources Defense Council.
The problem with e-waste is that it is the fastest growing component of the municipal waste stream worldwide.
What do you mean fastest growing?
Well, we throw out about 130,000 computers every day in the United States.
In the United States alone?
Correct. And we throw out over 100 million cell phones every year.
And here's what that looks like. At a recycling event in Denver, we found cars bumper to bumper for blocks in a line that lasted for hours. Most folks in line were hoping to do the right thing, expecting that their waste would be recycled in state-of-the-art facilities that exist here in America. But really, there's no way for them to know where all of this is going. The recycling industry is exploding, and as it turns out, some so-called recyclers are shipping the waste overseas where it's broken down for the precious metals inside. Executive Recycling of Englewood, Colorado, which ran this event, promised the public on its website, your e-waste is recycled properly, right here in the U.S., not simply dumped on somebody else. That policy helped Brandon Richter, the CEO of Executive, win a contract with the city of Denver and expand operations into 3 western states. Tell me what the problem with sending this stuff overseas is.
Well, you know, they've got low-income labor over there, so obviously they don't have all of the right materials, the safety equipment to handle some of this material.
Executive does recycling in-house, but we were curious about shipping containers that were leaving its Colorado yard. We found this one filled with monitors. They're especially hazardous because each picture tube, called a cathode ray tube, or CRT, contains several pounds of lead. It's against U.S. law to ship them overseas without special permission. We took down the container's number and we followed it to Tacoma, Washington, where it was loaded on a ship. When the container left Tacoma, we followed it for 7,459 miles to this place, Victoria Harbor, Hong Kong. It turns out the container that started in Denver was just one of thousands of containers on an underground, often illegal smuggling route, taking America's electronic trash to the Far East. Our guide to that route was Jim Puckett, founder of the Basel Action Network, a watchdog group named for the treaty that's supposed to stop rich countries from dumping toxic waste on poor ones. Puckett runs a program to certify ethical recyclers, and he showed us what's piling up in Hong Kong.
I mean, it's literally acres of computer monitors. Is it legal to import all of these computer monitors into Hong Kong? No way. This is absolutely illegal, both from the standpoint of Hong Kong law, but also U.S. law and Chinese law. But it's happening.
We followed the trail to a place Puckett discovered in southern China, a sort of Chernobyl of electronic waste, the town of Guiyu. But we weren't there very long before we were picked up by the cops and taken to City Hall. We told the mayor we wanted to see recycling.
This is really the dirty little secret of the electronic age.
Here's a CRT stand.
Oh yeah.
So they've been dismantling the CRTs
There's
as well.
A little bit of everything in here, and this is the place where they're clearly doing the burning.
Greenpeace has been filming around Guiyu and caught the recycling work. Women were heating circuit boards over a coal fire, pulling out chips and pouring off the lead solder. Men were using what is literally a medieval acid recipe to extract gold. Pollution has ruined the town. Drinking water is trucked in. Scientists have studied the area and discovered that Guiyu has the highest levels of cancer-causing dioxins in the world. They found that pregnancies are 6 times more likely to end in miscarriage, and that 7 out of 10 kids have too much lead in their blood.
Open, uncontrolled burning of plastics, chlorinated and brominated plastics, is known worldwide to cause the emission of polychlorinated and polybrominated dioxins. These are among the most toxic compounds known on Earth. We have a situation where we have 21st century toxics being managed in a 17th century environment.
The recyclers are peasant farmers who couldn't make a living on the land.
This is an ash river. This is the detritus from burning all this material, and this is what the kids get to play in.
After a few minutes in the real recycling area, we were jumped. Several men struggled for our cameras. The mayor hadn't wanted us to see this place, and neither did the businessmen who were profiting from it. This is a photograph from your yard, the executive recycling yard. We followed this container to Hong Kong.
Okay.
And I wonder why that would be.
I have no clue.
The Hong Kong customs people opened the container and found it full of CRT screens, which, as you probably know, is illegal to export to Hong Kong.
Yep. I don't know if that container was filled with glass. I doubt it was. We don't fill glass and CRT glass in those containers.
This container was in your yard, filled with CRT screens, and exported to Hong Kong, which probably wouldn't be legal.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, it's not. It was not filled in our facility.
But that's where we filmed it, and it turns out we weren't the only ones asking questions. Hong Kong Customs intercepted the container and sent it back to Executive Recycling, Inglewood, Colorado. The contents were listed as waste cathode ray tubes. U.S. Customs x-rayed the container and found the same thing. We showed Richter the evidence, and later, his lawyer told us that the CRTs were exported under Executive Recycling's name, but without the company's permission.
I know this is your job, but unfortunately, you know, when you attack small business owners like this and you don't have all your facts straight, it's unfortunate. You know, you can.
But here's one more fact: the Federal Government Accountability Office set up a sting in which U.S. investigators posed as foreign importers. Executive Recycling offered to sell 1,500 CRT computer monitors and 1,200 CRT televisions to the GAO's fictitious broker in Hong Kong. But Executive Recycling was not alone. The GAO report found that another 42 American companies were willing to do the same.
So I looked everywhere, even in that drawer where this lives. I know you have one too, a tangle of old chargers. The sad remains of electronics past. How did I end up with so many of these things? It's not like I'm always after the latest gadget. My old devices broke or became so obsolete I couldn't use them anymore. And not one of these old chargers fits my computer. Ugh! This isn't just bad luck. It's bad design. I call it design for the dump. Design for the dump sounds crazy, right? But when you're trying to sell lots of stuff, it makes perfect sense. It's a key strategy of the companies that make our electronics. In fact, it's a key part of our whole unsustainable materials economy. Design for the dump means making stuff to be thrown away quickly. Today's electronics are hard to upgrade, easy to break, and impractical to repair. My DVD player broke and I took it to a shop to get fixed. The repair guy wanted $50 just to look at it. A new one at Target cost $39. In the 1960s, Gordon Moore, the giant brain and semiconductor pioneer, predicted that electronics designers could double processor speed every 18 months. So far, he's been right. This is called Moore's Law. But somehow the bosses of these genius designers got it all twisted up. They seem to think that Moore's Law means every 18 months we have to throw out our old electronics and buy more. Problem is, the 18 months that we use these things are just a blip in their entire life cycle. And that's where these dumb designers aren't just causing a pain in our wallets, they're causing a global toxic emergency. You see, electronics start where most stuff starts, in mines and factories. Many of our gadgets are made from 1,000 different materials, shipped from around the world to assembly plants. There, workers turn them into products using loads of toxic chemicals like PVC, mercury, solvents, and flame retardants. Today, this usually happens in far-off places that are hard to monitor, but it used to happen near my home in Silicon Valley, which, thanks to the electronics industry, is one of the most poisoned communities in the U.S. IBM's own data revealed that its workers making computer chips had 40% more miscarriages and were significantly more likely to die from blood, brain, and kidney cancer. The same thing is starting to happen all around the world. It turns out the high-tech industry isn't as clean as its image. So are the geniuses who design these electronics actually evil geniuses? I don't think so, because the problems they're creating are well hidden even from them. You see, the companies they work for keep these human and environmental costs out of sight and off their accounting books. It's all about externalizing the true costs of production. Instead of companies paying to make their facilities safe, the workers pay with their health. Instead of them paying to redesign using fewer toxics, villagers pay by losing their clean drinking water. Externalizing costs allow companies to keep designing for the dump. They get the profits and everyone else pays. When we go along with it, it's like we're looking at this toxic mess and saying to companies, "You made it, but we'll deal with it." I've got a better idea. How about you made it, you deal with it? Doesn't that make more sense? Imagine that instead of all this toxic e-waste piling up in our garages or in the streets of Guayu, we sent it to the garages of the CEOs who made it. You can bet that they'd be on the phone to their designers pretty fast demanding they stop designing for the dump. Making companies deal with their e-waste is called extended producer responsibility, or product take-back. If all these old gadgets were their problem, it would be cheaper for them to just design them longer lasting, less toxic, and more recyclable in the first place. They could even make them modular so that when one part broke, they could just send us a new piece instead of taking back the whole broken mess. Already, take-back laws are popping up all over Europe and Asia. In the U.S., many cities and states are passing similar laws. These laws need to be protected and strengthened. It's time to get these brainiacs on our side. With take-back laws and citizen action to demand greener products, we can start a race to the top where designers compete to make long-lasting, toxic-free products.